good. We good. I think we good. I think we good, y'all. I think we good. Let's get the show started. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I am your host, Ashley Lovechild. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping into episode 239. Wow, that's a lot of episodes. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and continue to rock with us each and every episode as we continue to grow. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12. We at we kissing the cheek at 13 right now, and continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week, so you just never know. So make sure y'all continue to support. We have the Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast playlist, so make sure you tap into that right now. We got over 600 rewatchable videos on that playlist right now, and I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. First and foremost, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. And again, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. A stain is somebody that tries to stand out by being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Hate has a location, it's just not here. We celebrate life culture. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity, and we're gonna have a great episode. Shout out to the chat. Chat is in here deep already. I'm looking at the chat. Yo, shout out to the chat in here deep, showing major love. And again, I appreciate all of y'all for tuning and tapping in the building. All right, y'all, let's get it started. No further ado. First segment of the night, popular opinions. And remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records, where you go to Instagram at OUV Records. Stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. So continue to support and make sure you hit them up at OUV on Instagram. All right, y'all, first question of the night. Okay, this is what we're going to shout out to the chat real quick. Again, shout out to the chat. I'm not going to say everybody, but shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to Tremont in the building. Shout out to Hazel in the building. These are some of our day ones and big badge holders. Shout out to King P in the building. You already know how this go. Shout out to Culture Talk in the building. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. Major love to the chat. Look at the chat in here. Nice and deep. Pause. I said pause, y'all. I said pause. All right, y'all. No further ado. Let's get this thing started. Hold on one second. Yeah, that's better. All right, y'all. So first question of the night. If you had $1,500 and needed to flip it, who are you giving your money to on this list? Number 1, Ghost from Power. Number 2, Smokey from Friday. Number 3, Franklin Saint from Snowfall. Number 4, Ace from Paid in Full. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the question is, if you have $1,500 and you need to flip it, who are you giving your money to? Number 1, Ghost from Power. Number 2, Smokey from Friday. Number 3, Franklin Saint from Snowfall. Number 4, Ace from Paid in Full. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, shout out to the chat. It's major in here going down. Me personally, out of everybody on this list, I'm definitely not going with Smokey on this. We know how Smokey is when it comes to product and money. He either gonna spend that thing or he gonna smoke that thing. Franklin Saint, at the height of Franklin, I could definitely give Franklin some money and for him to flip it, right? But at the decline, you're not really giving nobody no money for real to flip it. But Franklin Saint, he get to that bag, but he's not gonna be my first choice. Ghost from Power, not a bad choice because they was making so much money. If y'all remember Power like that, the original version of it, they had money all over the place. I mean, just swimming in money like Scrooge McDuck in DuckTales. So that's not a bad choice neither. But there's a lot of, his name is Ghost. Like, you don't know if he's gonna be there or he's not gonna be there. So the person I'm entrusting my $1,500 to flip it and to get it back to me is no other than Ace Boogie from Paid in Full, because that was his motto. It's too much money out here. We could all eat, baby. We could all be happy. So that's why I'm going with Ace Boogie on this list. Now the chat is going with Smokey, and I think y'all try to be I think y'all try to be funny when y'all say Smokey, because y'all know y'all not giving Smokey y'all money. Y'all know for a fact y'all not doing that. Y'all not doing that. So let's stop right there, right? So at the end of the day, y'all need to cut it out. But again, out of all the choices, I went with on this choice Ace Boogie from Paid in Full, because Ace Boogie, you gonna make some money, and he gonna get you the money, and we all can eat out here. We all could be happy. You know what I'm saying? Even he been trying to look out for Calvin. Calvin like, yo, you ain't even gotta run the block, bro. You just sit back and collect. That's all you gotta do. Nah, Calvin want to be active. So at the end of the day, I'm going with Ace Boogie. The chat also, I'm seeing Ghost in the chat as well. Shout out to Ebony in the building as well. All right, y'all. So me, I'm going with Ace Boogie. The chat seriously is probably going with Ghost. The rest of the world, mind y'all, over 89,000 people voted on this. Went with at 51%. Went with Ghost from Power. I'm not mad at that. Ghost used to get to the money on, and Ghost used to get to that money on in a very short period of time. When him and Lobos really got in, like, he had to flip a whole lot of cash, like, quick fast. So that one is not a bad choice. That's not a bad choice. But again, 51% went with that overall. So again, not mad at that at all. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next popular opinion question. Most romantic song on this list. Most romantic song on this list. Number 1, Cisco, How Can I Love You Tonight? Number 2, Joe, I Wanna Know. Number 3, R. Kelly, Decided. Number 4, Usher, I Will. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, most romantic song on this list. Number 1, Cisco, How Can I Love You Tonight? Number 2, Joe, I Wanna Know. Number 3, R. Kelly, Dedicated. Number 4, Usher, I Will. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to my dog CC in the building. Appreciate you for tuning and tapping in. You already know my brother Ash looking crispy. I appreciate it. I'm trying to keep up with you, my guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep up with you. You know what I'm saying? You already know how we doing, man. So in the chat so far, again, most romantic song on this list, I'm seeing R. Kelly, Decided from the chat so far. Out of all these songs are great. I want to say R. Kelly, I decided as well too, or Decided as well. Fire, one of his most underrated songs that's probably ever known. But I'm going to go with Usher, I Will. I think that's a super romantic song. Like it just got that thing where it's not overly like sexy, but it's just romantic. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about the romance. You know what I'm saying? That to set in that mood. So me personally, I gotta go with Usher, I Will. In the chat, I'm seeing R. Kelly, Decided. I'm sorry, I said Decided. Dedicated. I kept saying Decided. Dedicated in the chat. So that's the one I've been seeing in the chat. Again, R. Kelly, Dedicated. So again, I went with Usher, I Will. Chat went with R. Kelly, Dedicated. The rest of the world, mind y'all, over 4,000 people voted on this. 35% went with Joe, I Wanna Know. I'm not mad at that. Joe, I Wanna Know is a fire song. These are all fire songs. Most romantic, though, I don't know if it's most romantic to me, but I'm not going to argue, because these are all greatness. You can't argue greatness. So, you know, but I guess that's the song that gets it popping for y'all, whether it's not overly sexy, which is not. It's romantic. It's definitely romantic because you're trying to get to know somebody. So definitely a fire song. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. our Hollywood Need to Ask Us segment. I came up with this segment because we keep continuing getting trash ass movies in Hollywood. I feel like I got better ideas for both movies or a movie series. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us, I would love to see a movie, and I brought this up in our old format, but not the new format. And I didn't break it down like I'm doing it now. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to see a movie based on my childhood video game. I know y'all like, damn, childhood. Yes, one of my childhood video games, early childhood video games, when I was like 5 or 6, used to come on Genesis. This game called Streets of Rage. Game was fire. And basically the game is, you got 3 cops and going out there and, beat up the city, you know what I'm saying? Put violence to violence. But they had some of the most fire soundtracks. Probably one of the best soundtrack you can have for any video game, especially for a fighting video game. It's like top tier, next level. It's like New York meets California meets LA. I'm sorry, New York meets California meets Miami. It just got that feeling to it. It's such a fire video game. But I would love to see a movie based on that. So it'd be based on Streets of Rage. Lionsgate will make this movie. The same creators from John Wick. I think that would be an excellent collaboration. Lionsgate, in the Streets of Rage franchise, all that violence and fighting, they know how to organize that pretty well. The story as go with the video game. The original story from 1991 video games, 3 ex-policemen looking to clean up the streets. And, you know what I'm saying? And they get it through violence and finding ways to work in between the law. So I think this will be a super fire game to have. And they got amazing villains. That's what always make a great movie to me, is you got to have great villains. And if y'all remember Streets of Rage, they had amazing villains in that game. So this would be a great time to reintroduce the Streets of Rage franchise into today's society. Obviously, it will be rated R. The actors, my foundational actors for this will be Alan Ritchson. He will play Alex Stone. Vanessa Kirby will play Blaze Felding. Yahya Abdul Mateen II, he will play Adam Hunter. And I will have Mads Mikkelsen. He will play Mr. X, and I think this will be absolutely fire. My director and co-writer would be Derek Colston. He's also, like I said, he's also in charge of the John Wicks. My producers is going to be a combination of Sonic producers and the Equalizer producers franchise, which would be Taro Nakahara and Dimitri Johnson, Tony Shaw, and Jason, Buenathal, and Todd Black. That will be my overall crew to make this movie. I think this would be absolute fire to see this movie. And I think people would be interested to see Streets of Rage. And it's crazy. There's a lot of things that was super like relevant in the 90s and the 2000s. Streets of Rage wasn't one of them. So this will be a very creative way to bring that back and introduce it to today's crowd and still keep that old school nostalgia with it. So I think this will be a fire movie to see and to make, again, the Streets of Rage movie. So that would be fire. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Paul, one of our day ones in the building. Good night, Ash. Good night, everyone. Major love to Paul in the building. Y'all make sure y'all hit them likes. Y'all hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Yes. So I would love to see that Streets of Rage movie being made. I think this will be fire. I think a lot of people will go see this. The idea is crazy. And all they got to do is make sure the fight scenes is great. Make sure the cinematography is great. The characters is already there. It's already a character-driven type of video game. So imagine with the movie. So I think this will be an absolute knockout the park, in my opinion. So I would love to see this, and I think the world will want to see this too. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. I'm going to give y'all 3 fire must-see movies, and some Eddie Awards. My Eddie Murphy, I give out some Eddie Murphy Awards because Eddie Murphy is the standard to me. So instead of giving out Grammys and Tonys, we giving out Eddies over here. Show Eddie Murphy some love. So my first Eddie Award goes to the movie that is a must-see. Came out in 2004, directed by actor Von Curtis Hall. The stars in this movie is Jamie Foxx, Lynn Winfield, Lee Thompson Young, Brendan Jefferson, Barbara Bachel, and Koch Ponder. Pond. This movie is called Redemption. Fire must-see movie. This movie is about Stanley Tookie Williams, who is known as the leader and one of the creators of the crew in gang affiliation, which is the Crips. Started with him and Raymond Washington, both being Bloods, and Tookie wanted to do his own thing, which started the Crips, and so on and so forth. But it's a great must-see movie, and my first Eddie Award. My second Eddie Award goes to a movie that came out in 1993, directed by George P. Costa Matos and Kevin Jarrett. This movie stars Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Michael Biehn, Diane Delaney, Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton, and Michael Zane. Fire must-see movie. This movie is called Tombstone. If y'all have never seen Tombstone, y'all are missing out. I don't care if you are born in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. It doesn't matter. This is a fire must-see movie. The movie Tombstone is about three brothers that go to a new town, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see the movie Tombstone. My third final Eddie Award goes to this third movie that came out in 2002, directed by Betty Thomas. This movie stars Eddie Murphy, Owen Wilson, Fran Jensen, Gary Cole, and Malcolm McDowell. This movie is called I Spy. Fire must-see movie, comedy, action type of movie. Basically, this is about a spy needing the services of a professional boxer, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see I Spy. So my three Eddie Awards go to the movies Redemption, Tombstone, and I Spy. Make sure y'all tap in to see those movies. You could probably watch those movies on any platform, whether it's YouTube, Tubi. You could find those movies any and everywhere. So make sure y'all tap into those movies. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all know I'm gonna give y'all a fire must-hear artist each and every episode, whether they're new or old, whether they're hip-hop and R&B, whether they're what they would consider indie or major or independent or underground. It doesn't matter. If it's some fire, I'm gonna give it to you. So my 3 Michael Jackson Award goes to the first song by the artist R Notes. Put this song on your playlist. Number 1, Too Far. Second Michael Jackson Award goes to the second song is In the Meantime. And my third Michael Jackson Award goes to the song Triple Negative, all songs by R Notes. Make sure y'all type them up. Put these 3 songs on your playlist. These are my 3 Michael Jackson Awards going to those 3 songs. So put them up on y'all playlist. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know this is what we do. We about to take that trip. Send them the turkey or nah. Send them the turkey or nah. Let me know what's going on. Send them the turkey or nah. You're going to type in T to send them turkey. You're going to type it in, not to send them the turkey. When people do say crazy things, we either send them the turkey or nah. So let me know what y'all think in the chat. First one of the night. The NBA All-Star new format actually worked for a better game. Said, the internet, NBA reporters, Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending us to Turkey or not? The fact that everybody, not everybody, but the NBA All-Star new format was a success. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, type in T to send it to Turkey. Type in N not to send it to Turkey. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, shout out to the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100, y'all. It helps with the growth of the show. They got the questionnaire that popped up. Why that popped up? Oh, that popped up. Yeah, so let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. All right, y'all. So for me, y'all heard me say it last week. I'm gonna say this. NBA All-Star weekend, it was ass. It was ass. It was terrible. It was terrible. The celebrity game was terrible. The 3-point contest was always like, right? Dunking contest. Like what was that? The skills contest. Like, bruh, please. The Rising Stars, we saw a lot of great talent from that game. I will say that. But nobody's talking about it, right? It wasn't must-see TV, right? Now, the game in itself, the NBA All-Star games, because they had several, they broke them up into teams. Basically Team A was the young gunners of the NBA. Team B was the international team. And Team 3 is basically the old heads of the NBA, right? I'm not gonna lie. It was a better game. It was definitely a better game for sure. A better product, better set of games. And the main reason being is just because they play hard. There's no reason why they couldn't play hard in the old format. Playing hard doesn't require a format. They just played hard. And you could tell there wasn't, like, guys were still going to work, but it wasn't like super easy. There was no Olay dunks. And I love the fact that Victor Wembanyama, and it was credited by Ant-Man, say, yo, he kicked it off. Because Victor Wembanyama was out there blocking shots. He was dunking on people. He was making 3-point shots, pick and roll. He was catching it on people's head. He set the tone. So I'm glad that the guys finally found the need to play hard in the All-Star game. Like, I get it. The All-Star game is supposed to be the game where it's like, yeah, we out here, we do what we do. We shoot the ball. Nah, man, All-Star game's supposed to be, it ain't nothing but top dogs around here, bro. So top dog, we only playing man-to-man defense out here, and it's an all-star game. I'm going to show you who's the bigger all-star, bro. Simple and plain. There's a way to get your name up on the map, regardless of money. Because money, it matters, right? You make big money, of course. But as a competitor, if you're an all-star and you saying you trying to set yourself apart, like yo, there's levels to this. So we finally got a good product based on that nature. It was 3 really good games, for sure. Now, if they continue to play hard, this will continue to work. If they played like ass, if they went out and played Olay defense, if everything was a 3-point shot, if they got easy, uncontested dunks, it won't matter how they break the teams up. It's just they played a better game. They played a better brand of basketball. So I would say that the rest of the All-Star, they need to get right. It was ass, but those games in itself, they were good. I will say that. Shout out to the chat. Ashley helped me build a time machine to go back to the 2000s All-Star Weekend. Yeah, All-Star Weekend used to be a whole event. And the biggest misconception is like, oh, guys make too much money. Guys could get their own exposure using social media. Very true. But there's no better unspoken self-promotion than busting somebody's ass. Like, what are we talking about? If this is what you do and you're a new all-star, you don't have the name like a Kyrie Irving or any of the older guys, James Harden, LeBron James. You don't have the name of these guys, right? You don't have the social media of these guys either, but you got money. and you're an all-star, wouldn't it behoove you to go there, make a statement, and bust everybody ass and go hard? So I like that's the thing that I'm not getting. It's like, all right, when you get around the other guys, it's like, oh, this is how we do it. Oh, nah, we're gonna set the tone. So I applaud Victor Wembanyama for being very young and setting the tone. Victor Wembanyama's what, in his second, third year, and he up there setting the tone in an all-star game that's broken up into 3 teams. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how they break it up, is whether they're going to play hard or not. So I enjoyed it for that aspect. I like the fact that they did separate the older crew, because that's like the only time for real you'll see like LeBron and Kevin Durant on the same team. So I thought that was kind of cool. And you've seen the young gunners go crazy. You've seen what the world team could do. So I like that aspect because they played hard. So if they have that, continue to have that, then cool. But the rest of the All-Star weekend, y'all got to do something about it. Listen, nobody wants to see the dunk contest if you don't have stars. I don't care if the dunks are basically cartoonish, something we've never seen. We want to see the stars dunk. We rather see LeBron James do a 360 windmill than see a guy that we don't know do a 780 dunk. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. People would rather see Zion Williams try to jump from the foul line or John Morant do a windmill reverse behind the back than to see guys that we don't know, that's not on the team, and is only activated to the team just to compete in the dunk contest. We don't care about the dunk contest unless you have stars. 3-point contest is a little different. You do get the best shooters because they're shooting. That's what the NBA do. But outside of that, NBA All-Star Weekend is ass. They need to add the one-on-one concept to it. Add the one-on-ones. Guys who are known for being one-on-one players, and let them cook in a one-on-one, like have a one-on-one style, king of the court style in the All-Star game. Or not in the All-Star game, but a part of All-Star Weekend. The celebrity basketball game has been ass for a little while now. And it's mainly because y'all getting people who are famous. Yeah, you gotta have some people that is famous, but you gotta get people who are famous that know how to play. That know how to play. It's one thing just to get somebody there, give them a couple minutes. All right, go sit down. You got your face, you got your pictures, but they don't know how to play. The only way this works is you get celebrities that know how to play. Simple and plain. It doesn't look right when you have, and I don't want to call anybody name, but when you have people up there that really don't know how to play and it looks crazy, it's not a good watch. It's wasted. It's a waste of time. So it's either you get some celebrities that know how to play or just don't do it. Like, what are we doing? Or turn it into 2K. Have the celebrities play a 2K tournament or something like that. So that's another aspect of the All-Star Weekend that could be better. And the skills competition is not a bad idea. It just has to be done better. The game, definitely better. Definitely better. Weekend, still ass. But I will agree with the rest of the world that the game was absolutely better. So I'm not going to send it to Turkey based on that notion. All right, y'all, moving on to our next send them to Turkey or nah, send them to Turkey or nah. Y'all already know, type in T to send it to Turkey, type it in not to send to Turkey. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. All right, second one of the night. Peacock has reprised the classic movie Burbs, or The Burbs, and turned it into a series featuring Keke Palmer, starring Keke Palmer. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, Peacock has reprised the classic movie, cult classic, The Burbs, and turned it into a series starring Keke Palmer. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat about The Burbs. For those who don't know about The Burbs originally came out with, my God, his name is escaping me, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks in that movie, fire movie, killed that movie, about the neighborhood and just questionable things is happening in the neighborhood, especially when it comes down to people missing and being unalived. So it's a good movie. They took this concept, turned it into a whole show. Keke Palmer, now I watched it. Me personally, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I think we got to give it some time for it to cook a little bit more. It's not terrible. So I can't send it to Turkey, me personally. In the chat, I'm seeing Turkey in the chat. I'm seeing Turkey in the chat. I can't send it all the way to Turkey because it's not terrible. But I can see why y'all sending it to Turkey, because when we have these classics, do we need to touch the classics? Like, do we need to touch it? So at the end of the day, it's like, yo, where's the original idea? And who's making these decisions for these networks? So, again, I'm not mad, but it's not great. It's not the worst thing I've seen, but it's not great. And they also doing this with Netflix with Mrs. Doubtfire. And I spoke about that on the previous episode where they reprising Mrs. Doubtfire. So, like, these classic movies, some of these movies you have to leave alone. And the Bergs is such a great concept because it can be a show, because the movie in itself it got to the point, but it can be a show, and now it is a show. I can't send it to Turkey because it's not terrible, but it's not the original either. So I'm gonna say nah, but the rest of y'all in the chat, y'all sending this to Turkey. I'm seeing nothing but Turkey for this in the chat. So I'm seeing a whole lot of T's in the chat for this. Again, I'm not gonna be mad at y'all for sending it to Turkey, but see, my thing is this: if they called it something else, then it will be like, all right, this is a decent show, right? But because they call it The Burbs and all the greatness that came with that movie, it's like, damn. Like the movie Boomerang, right? You remember the classic movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy? That movie is such a classic, it can't be touched. BET tried to turn it into a whole show, and the show to the movie, it was ass. But if they would have called the show something else, then I'm like, it's not that bad, right? So it's not terrible, but it's like, right? So I'm not mad at it either way. I'm not gonna send it to Turkey, but the rest of the chat is definitely sending this to Turkey. Y'all not feeling this at all. I ain't mad at y'all. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is, man. It's about that time. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. I remember it's at Button Snaps. The word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. It's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night in Time to Rap. Michael Jordan goes viral after a celebration at the Daytona 500. His team, or the team that he owns or is a part of, they won the Daytona 500 and was caught in 4K. It just looked inappropriate from the view. So basically, it was a little boy who happened to be the son of the driver who won. And from the back, it looked like Michael Jordan was, I don't know, tickling him, but it looked crazy from the angle. I don't know, it just looked weird. But he was like, it felt like he was like pulling his backside a little bit, and then he started like hitting his leg. It just looked weird from the video angle that the rest of the world got, right? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. But let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, Michael Jordan went viral after his team for race car driving, NASCAR. They won the Daytona 500 and was caught touching a young man who happened to be the driver of the team backside. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Also, so further context has been released since this video went viral because they look super weird and people was really outspoken about this. Now, from the angle we had, it looked like he was pulling the young man's backside, and because the young man wasn't responding fast enough, he kind of like looked like he was trying to tickle his leg or something, right? It looked very weird. I will say that. So now the reports is that Gatorade and ice was on his body along with everybody else because of the celebration. And Michael Jordan seen some ice and was actually pulling the shirt so that the ice could fall off the shirt, and or whatever. That's what's further been reported. A shout out to fam in the building, my dog in the building. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. He was helping the kid get the ice off his close not to turkey. It's close not to turkey. Shout out to Donna in the building. Donna, if you're really here to support, we glad to have you, but do not be a weirdo. That's a weird statement. I don't know if that was you trying to be funny. I don't know if you're trying to say that all melanated people look alike. I don't know what that is. I can't do nothing with that if that's a joke. And I love a great joke, by the way. I'm not an overly sensitive individual. But if you're here to support, we love to have you. But if you're here to troll or be weird, this is not the podcast for this. We don't do the bots over here. So show love or bounce. But yeah. He was helping the kid with ice off his shirt. Now, I will say this. I've seen ice all my life. Do ice linger on shirts when you're standing straight up? No. Can I give Michael Jordan the benefit of the doubt because we've never heard something of this magnitude with relating to children? For sure. Absolutely. We've never heard anything weird regarding children with Michael Jordan. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that aspect. Did it look weird as hell? For sure. My eyes, what I thought I saw Michael Jordan basically trying to celebrate. And in celebration, he tried to tickle the young man by basically touching his backside and thinking that the young man would be like, oh, what was that? Like, type of thing. And did it a few times. And then he tried to tickle his leg. That's what I actually think, what my eyes saw. You see what I'm saying? I feel like the media is like, you going to believe me or your lying eyes. That's what my eyes saw. But if that's the report, mind you, the NASCAR driver came out and said, yo, I didn't see nothing wrong. He was getting ice off my son back. Cool. So if the father's cool, then I'm cool. On top of the fact that we've never had or heard anything related to Michael Jordan regarding children and basically, what they call that? I'm forgetting the word right now because I'm on live. I freeze from time to time. But when it comes to just inappropriate behavior or touching with children, I've heard stories where children are around Michael Jordan and they're wearing Adidas or some off brand or some other brand. And he like, yo, what you doing with those? Like, all right, come with me. I'm going to, what I'm saying? He hook him up with some Jordans. I've heard that. I've never heard inappropriate behavior with Michael Jordan regarding children. So if that's the reports, can I believe it? Sure, absolutely. If that's what it is, the father, second, he like, we cool over here. Like, that's my buddy. He would never do anything like that. Cool. I'm cool. But again, I could definitely give him the benefit of the doubt for that. So for sure. In the chat is definitely giving him the benefit of the doubt as well. Don't forget, y'all, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Like I said, it did look weird. It went super viral. And, like I said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. There's going to be a lot of people that won't because they going to believe what they see. And what you see is never wrong, right? But again, we was not there. So again, I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. And y'all know that, the world is quick to kill us, you know what I'm saying? And kill our character. So again, if he had this reputation, if we've heard this prior to, then yeah, it would have been nasty for your boy Mike. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Now, this has gone extremely viral, and we need to talk about this, okay? They're saying that the cultured men hate cultured women, and the women are asking why. And this is all on the internet. This is an internet question by an internet woman, and speaking from her purview, that that cultured men don't like cultured women. For those of y'all like cultured, I use the word culture instead of black. And reason being is because that's not what we are. We're not 3/5 of a human being or people. So I don't subscribe to something that the outside culture gives us, right? They gave us Negro. They gave us colored. They gave us African American. They gave us black. And it goes into a whole deeper story, but that's why I use the word culture or the word ebony. That's why. So, but anyway, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, cultured men, a woman on the internet, and it went extremely viral. Why do cultured men hate cultured women? And she's asking why. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat as well. There's quite a few y'all in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, when I think about this, the internet is a powerful place. It's a powerful place because it allows any and everyone to speak from their purview. But we have to understand, people's purview is not everybody's experience. So for example, if you're a nice looking guy, your dating experience is going to be very different from a guy who's not nice looking, and he could easily get on the internet and say anything, right? It's just different, right? Y'all don't, it's like with guys, we have different superpowers for one, and two, we all not the same. We all not built equally, right? Same thing with women. Certain women have or get pretty privilege, and some women don't. That's just the fact of the matter. So when people speak on this, they're speaking from a very narrow point of view. So all that being said, cultured men don't hate cultured women. Not at all. Not at all. We love cultured women. Beautiful, sexy, smart. We love them. We come from them. So how can we not love them? The first woman that we ever fall in love with, unconsciously, right, is our mothers. Our mothers are what? Ebony women, cultured women. And the reason why we fall in love with our mothers is not like romantically for real, right? We fall in love with our mothers because they're the first woman that believe the best in us. They're the first women that we lie our morality and principles with. It matters how mama feel. That's what most kids, that's where we get our fear. It's from our mothers. We get our strength from our fathers, but we get our fears from our mothers. But with fear, it turns into strength because we don't want mama to be fearful of anything. So sons, we turn ourselves into the counter to our mother's fear. So with that being said, with that ideology, we can't hate y'all. We can't hate our counterparts who are the romantic side of the women. So when this person was speaking, they were speaking from a very narrow point of view. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that that particular person didn't examine or exhibit all the positive aspects of gaining the person that she's supposed to get. Because in dating, we all think we supposed to get a person that we owe, like we owe this person over here. No, this is very true to form. The things that you do the person that you like, do they value the things that you do in a relationship? Do they value the way you look? Do they value the peace or whatever contribution that you have that you could bring to a relationship or to a man? Do they value that? Simple and plain. Like for guys, the reason why we're so like, what's the best way to say this? We're so visual because we can only go by what we see. We're visual creatures. Some women say, well, we visual creatures too. Guys, we're visual in the sense where what you present to us is what we're going to go by. And basically what we're going by, as long as what you present align with your actions and your words, then we will build a life around you. But a part of that is whatever you bring to that guy, because each man is different. Whatever each man or that man that you're dealing with, whatever he values, if you bring that to him, he will build a life with you. So to say that and making it generalized, why do cultured men hate cultured women? That's a categorically false. On this foundation alone, that's just a false statement to ask and to say. Majority of men who are cultured in this country, do the research, are married to cultured women. I'll say that again. Majority of the cultured men in the U.S. who are married to cultured women. So to say this, stop. Also, we're in a place and a space now in social media is we're no longer in a space of take me as I am, happy wife, happy life. We're no longer in that. And the reason why we're no longer in that, all the older G's that preach that mantra, that live by that creed, for majority of them, it didn't work out. Like they still ended up married, but they ended up with the short end of the stick. So at this point in time, there's demands that we have as cultured men from our cultured women. That, again, if you do the research, it hasn't aligned. Like, when are we going to be honest? So if some of the women, not all, because there's a lot of women who are listening and applying what the men that they're pursuing wants and is putting that to action, and they're moving on and being successful. It's the women who are fighting against the guy that they like. Because let's be real. From the age of 12, 13, women, y'all get sexual offers all the time. Y'all always getting approached, right? Y'all always getting offers, right? But it's not the same. Every guy that comes up to you, you don't want to sleep with. You don't want to give the access to have to your body, your mind, and your spirit. Let's keep it real. You reserving it for a guy. When you see him, you like, oh my God, I got it. If he whispers at me, I'm definitely going to hear him, right? That's the mindset, because you want him. You don't want a guy like him. You want him. So understanding that, are you presenting, having the actions and matching the words with what he values, because you want him? Now, some say, well, he got to want her too. Yeah, I guess no, not really. No. A man is going to want something that makes his life better, that he feels make his life better. We're glutton for punishment. That's why when we meet most women and we go with what they present to us, it's like, yo, I know I've been hurt before, but we're going to ease this thing in right here, And that's why when a guy, when he's really in love, he gets full of rage. He doesn't know how to handle it when a relationship goes south because he put his all into it. Not excusing it, just giving an understanding of that mindset. So with that being said, again, to say that cultured men hate cultured women on this foundation is categorically wrong. Shout out to the chat. Chat be going in, man. Shout out to Ebony. I believe you, Ashley. That's a narrative. We really love each other in the real world. Love that. Shout out to Ebony. Shout out to my dog fam. It is working cultured men, or it's hood cultured men. It's the cultured women. She's worked, or the cultured woman who's the street person. Okay, so you saying like so you dividing it basically. It's the culture in itself, but you're dividing the men, whether they're street dudes or guys who work their 9 to 5, and girls basically who are what would be considered ratchet, and women who go to work. But the problem with that is this: the women who are seen to being ratchet, and the women that go to work, it's hard to it's hard to differentiate. I know I messed that word up. I know the word. I just can never say the word, y'all. I'm telling you, that's a tough word. I can say every other word but that. But it's hard to separate, mainly because you see the same aspects on social media from working class women, from other women that's supposed to just be ratchet street girls, right? But the main thing is this: regardless on whether you're a ratchet woman, whether you're a working class woman, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the guy that you like, are you presenting and executing the person that he values? And if you don't, the men in this era is no longer take me as I am mentality. So if we have such a gap that's unmarried now, can you imagine in the next 10 years? So we in 2026 now. So when we get to 2036, you're going to see that gap widen even more. It's all in what you value. Do you value that man, or do you value just wanting to do whatever you want to do? Which one do you value more? Because the man that you value, he's going to have a certain type of values that basically may not align with some of the things that you think that you want to do. And be like, nah, I see the danger in that, boo. Like, don't do that no more. That looks crazy. That sounds crazy. When that guy that you like says that, what do you do next? Are you going to say, I'm going to do that anyway? It don't matter. So when I hear that, it's not a factual statement at all. Not a factual statement at all. You can walk down the street and you see most cultured men. I mean, they look at women, and when cultured women walk down the street, you gonna see that man go, damn. So it's no way that we hate or don't love our women that we come from. Our mothers is cultured, so there's no reason why we hate our cultured women. Now, we may not like the fact that that social media has a narrative that we're not together, but that's social media. When I go out, when I hang out, I go to clubs, I do this, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, when I see a woman who's cultured, you see what I'm saying? I like what I like. I like what I like. Not to say that I'm not attractive to other women, but I like what I like. I like what I like. And at the end of the day, I'm going to rock with me, and who's aligned under the things that I find valuable, regardless of who you are. Cultured, white, any other culture, it doesn't matter. If you're in line to the priorities and in duty to the household and to me, then I'm rocking with you. If you're not, you need to find a dude who you will be in line with. Because if I'm fighting the world I'm not gonna come home and fight you. I might start a fight just so we could get to that, that love, and you know what I'm saying, to like pick a stupid argument and argue for like a good solid like 4 minutes, just so we could get it popping. Like, I just started with you, you know what I'm saying? Just to, you know what I mean? Make it air a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just want to see that look in your eye, you know what I mean? I may do something like that, just something a little toxic, just to get it popping. But other than that, y'all get the point that I'm making overall. This is a false narrative, and we need to kill this narrative. Shout out to fam. YouTube redacted your statement. It wasn't me. What is each one of your bringing to the table? Are you going to get each person headaches all the time? What J. Cole said? Ladies, what J. Cole said? I'd rather get head than headaches. Trying to tell you again, but each man is different. You can't go to another man with your last man's game plan, because you have to have a game plan for each man that you're dating, because each man is different. So find out what values him if you want that dude, and you'll see for yourself whether cultured men love cultured women, because that's categorically wrong. Very false narrative. Very false narrative. I don't like that narrative not one bit. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic on for tonight's episode. IMG Academy, the high school IMG Academy, has been fined $1.7 million for accepting tuition from a Mexican drug cartel. There were in total 89 payments for this student who was enrolled from 2018 to 2020. Let me know, what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, IMG Academy, the high school, has been fined $1.7 million for accepting tuition from a Mexican drug cartel. There in total 89 payments. This student was enrolled from 2018 to 2022. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Dizzy in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Big badge holder got his badge. Appreciate Dizzy in the building. I love seeing them badges, y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I love seeing them badges. Big badge holder. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, IMG Academy has been fined $1.7 million for accepting tuition from a drug cartel. 89 payments from 2018 to 2022. Me personally, honestly, what's the big deal? What is the big deal? Wasn't Miami built on drug money? If you're going to sell drugs, instead of buying boats, jewelry, and all types of whatever, spending it on vacation or on education, that's not the worst thing that you can do. From 2018 to 2024. Now, I understand the ramifications of it, but let's keep it real. A student got a quality education. The bill got paid. And let's move on. Because you can't pinpoint with the Mexican drug cartel exactly which person is getting their money from where and which destruction that is doing it. It has the same destruction. And we talk about the cartel, like certain people in our government, certain people in our law enforcement. And I come from a family that has a lot of law enforcement in the family. But we're talking about law enforcement. Obviously, I'm not talking about people in my family, but just in general, in order for these things to be able to be activated and to move amongst the countryside, it takes people that works in our house. And in our house means the USA. So we can't pinpoint the destruction that it's doing to one particular community overall. It's hurting all communities Okay, they get this money and they got an education. And when I say they, meaning their child, their son, their nephew, whatever the case may be, somebody got an education. What's the big deal? 2018, 2022, we in 2026 and we just hearing about it now? Y'all get fined now? Like, who cares? Who cares where the money came from? Somebody got an education. Who cares? Because you're expecting the school to care, but people, and this is why I say law enforcement in our own country, if they didn't care, what are we talking about? Everybody wants to be the morality police, but when we talk about education, nobody really cares about education. So if they're going to spend their money on anything, not a club, not some jewelry, not just traveling, not women, some education. And schools like IMG, believe it or not, is very expensive. If you do the research, most schools who are Catholic related or in the Catholic system, those schools is very expensive for your schools, for your kids to go to those schools. High schools. There's plenty of high schools in Florida where the tuition is about $8,000 per semester. $8,000. Now they'll give you, they'll probably drop that $8,000 to maybe about like $6,000 if you're an active church member. They'll do that. They'll be like, okay, you actively tithe. So okay, because you do that, we'll give you a break on your son or your children's tuition. We'll take $3,000 off of that thing. Cool? Cool. So what are we talking about? How many people in this country, if 20% of the people makes over $100,000, how many of those people are sending their kids to these schools? So they have a student body every year. So they find the money to pay for these schools to get quality education. Who cares? Somebody got a quality education. And if it was a really big deal, this student went to school in 2018 to 2022. We're in 2026 and now we're talking about it. Now they get fined. Now we're bringing it up because they got fined. That's BS. Shout out to the chat for that. They make their own rules as they go along. I completely agree. Shout out to Ebony. Shout out to Ebony. Hit them likes, y'all. Hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Now this is a big deal. Why? Somebody got a quality education. This was a little while ago on top of that. And we can't pinpoint where the destruction is really coming from. But we got people who are in charge to control destruction, to keep us away from destruction in our neighborhoods, in our society, and they let it rock. In our country alone in the U.S., we got drugs that's rampant. You get people that get snatched up off the street. And this is not in other countries. This is happening in the U.S. of A. In states like North Carolina, states like Washington, D.C., people getting snatched up. You think they doing that? They so lit that they could transport people just by using outside people? No, it's people that work inside the system that help along with that. So now we got this situation from the drug cartel, making sure somebody get an education. Man, please. Man, please. They could dismiss me with all of that. Only 2% of them. That's crazy. Shout out to fam. He said only 2%. That's crazy. Shout out to KP in the building. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. Helps with the growth of the show. Welcome. Welcome to the Ken and Brothers Get a Rap podcast. Appreciate you. But again, we pick and choose who and what we're going to do to. And I mean entities and people. Moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Get a Rap. Question. Do we take Instagram too seriously in a culture while in relationships? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Do we take do we take Instagram too seriously while being in a relationship? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, do we take Instagram too seriously as a culture while in a relationship? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Me personally, I'm gonna say hell yeah, for sure. We take we take Instagram too seriously in the culture regarding relationships, way too seriously. Here's my thing of it. If you're in a relationship and you want it to work, if you're going to share your love with the world, you have to be strong enough to deal with the outside hate. It's that simple. So whatever you do, wherever you go, and you want to take pictures of it, you want a video, you want to mortalize that moment, all power to you. But you have to be prepared for the backlash, because there's going to be women in the DMs talking about, oh yeah, I was with him too. You know, we went there, with the guys. Yo, man, yo, your girl, yo, she be on the streets, bro. You have to be prepared for that type of energy if you're going to share. When something goes online, you're going to get a reaction, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Also, Instagram is I'm seeing a lot of people letting the influence of Instagram dictate their relationships based on, now that they put their content out as a couple, whether it's a picture or video displaying their love, they let the comments dictate what they do next. They let the comments have it. And then also there's another aspect of it, and I've seen the rapper Coi Leray and the guy that she's dating at this point. He asked a question where he said, if you like a picture on Instagram, is that considered? No, she said, if you like another girl's picture on Instagram, she considers that cheating. Now we in the aspect in a space where we can't even like people's pictures, because it's going to make our partner feel insecure about the possibility of liking this person, and them thinking that you're giving them access to contact you. Liking somebody's picture, in my opinion, that's a bit too far. If you like somebody's picture, you like their picture, you like the way they look, their outfit, whatever the case may be. Whether it's man or female, you're doing it because, yo, that's a dope fit. Or, yo, I like the background. You can't even say that no more. Like that, which is weird. It's like we get into a space in these relationships. It's basically you have to walk on eggshells. And there's a way that you can celebrate your partner while still feeling like you're a human being. Because there's no man on this planet that finds one woman attractive at the time. Biology don't work that way. Now, you may find the woman that you're with, you may see her, but you still have eyes. You can clearly see that other women is attractive. You may not act on it. That's two different things for finding somebody attractive and acting on it. Men, we don't have to act on our attraction. Crazy enough, ladies, you're going to hear this from a man's perspective. Men, we can find somebody attractive and not want their ass at the same time. And what I mean by that, we don't want to pursue them. We don't want them pursuing us. We don't want to smash. So with that ideology in itself, you're like, damn, for real, yeah. We could tell a woman like, yo, hey, miss, you look nice today. And keep it moving. Because she looked nice. You look so nice, I had to tell you. But do I want your ass? No. If she was to holler, I would just give you a compliment. I appreciate that, the energy, you know what I'm saying? But I'm cool. Men can do that, for sure. Because it's not all or nothing for us. So again, that's a space for Instagram where we let Instagram, or we see the world of Instagram dictating relationships, and we're taking Instagram way too serious as a culture and letting it dictate our relationships, which is crazy. Shout out to my dog fam in the building. I don't do Instagram or TikTok. I only do Facebook and YouTube only. It's nothing wrong with any of the platforms that you choose to, partake in, right? Because each platform, it has its strengths and it has its weaknesses. Fellas, if you don't want to look at women and you just going on there for the content, you just looking to see what's going on in the world, I would suggest you not go onto Twitter or the Instagram if you don't want to see the nakedness. But as a man, you can see nakedness, and it really don't necessarily affect you for real. It's like, all right, I seen that. It's cool. Like what my boys got going on, like, or what a new thing that they talking about on Instagram that I could possibly look into to add some money or to or make a business move. We could separate that. But I'm just saying for the guys who don't want to see the visual, because me personally, I've seen a couple of visuals on Instagram. I was like, yeah, I got to get off of here because I could doom scroll and all that. But I'm also not in a committed relationship. So at the end of the day, if I chose to, I can. And even if I was in one, I can separate both. So either way, I just feel like as a whole, we let Instagram dictate our relationship so much to the point, if we like a picture, you think it's sending an invitation for that woman to holler at us. But when it takes two to tango, no matter who holler at who, the other person still gotta respect their relationship and say, no, I'm cool. So it to me, that's no different. Well, there is a difference, but it's more harmful that women who are in relationships post pictures who are very naked or damn near naked, showing breasts, ass, titties, the whole nine. It's like, why are you showing that? So how can you post those pictures and don't think that that's really inviting attention and unwanted attention, opposed to a guy liking a picture? And that goes for all women that think like that. So be very mindful. Do not let Instagram run your relationship and run your life. Shout out to the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Shout out to Ebony. They make their own rules as they go along. But yeah, so let me know. I'm sorry, but again, it is what it is. Just don't let Instagram run your life, because at the end of the day, you run you. Social media is real for single. He said social media is real for single people, for a single person. It's real. Yeah, relationships is weird when it's on social media. Being single on social media, I mean, you're singles, right? So it is what it is. All bets is off, right? All bets is off. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. The Confederate flag flying over I-85 in Spartanburg, South Carolina, has been officially taken down. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the Confederate flag flying over 185, or it did fly over I-185 in Spartanburg, South Carolina, has been taken down. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, we on time to wrap. Me personally, I love this. Now, do it also come with the change in perspective from some of the people in South Carolina that is aligned with the mindset of that flag? If it also comes with changed behavior, I love it. Now, some people, if somewhere is racist, some people want their racism up close and personal. Some people prefer that, right? But symbolism matters. It matters. And what we let stay up, it shows that there's a presence there. Now, will this presence ever fully be evaporated? The mindset of some people, will it completely go away? Absolutely not. It's always going to be an underline or a presence there because some people is just ignorant. Some people really believe that they was born with hate in their heart when you're not born with hate in your heart. You're not born with wanting to be divisive and to be in division with people. Because for real, as the race grows, it's by us actually coming together. Now, the cultured community is probably the only community, not probably the only community, the biggest community that have been affected by not having our own. And what that means is this: having our own also doesn't mean being inclusive. When you go to every state and every major city, they have a Chinatown. Not only Chinese people go to Chinatown, everybody goes to Chinatown to embark on the experience of the culture, whether it's food, clothing, whether it's things for their home, materials, whatever the case may be. You have a little Italy everywhere. You're seeing a presence of a little Haiti in certain major cities, officially and unofficially. So you have different cultures that are able to have their own while also being inclusive. The cultured community, there is no culture town. There's no ebony town, right? Or I'm trying to find a good word for it, or culture city, right? Where you can go get soul food or get whatever that's a part of the cultured community that is great, which we have a lot of great, which is food, different inventions that we have, like all different types of stuff that we have in our community that is not just good for our community, but for the whole world. And we're the only major community that doesn't have our own while still being inclusive. So with this being, with the flag coming down, it's a step in the right direction, but only if it comes with changed behavior from some of the people that live in that area. Because obviously, this is not just a morality thing. This is a financial thing as well. South Carolina is going to make plays to doing major things in the state of South Carolina. And with that being said, you cannot have Confederate flags roaming up when you're trying to make moves. Because certain states like South Carolina, they're not big enough to garner just be operated just on the people from South Carolina. There's also a tourism aspect of South Carolina that they make money from, and they could make even more money. There's a lot of money to be made in South Carolina because there's a lot of land in South Carolina. South Carolina is always kind of cheaper than a lot of the better half of the rest of the states in the country, especially on the eastern seaboard. When you think of the most cheapest places that you could live, South Carolina is one of those places, whether it's all the way down from Rhode Island all the way up to Florida. It's one of the most cheapest states that you could live in. So they would benefit by removing these symbols of hate and open it up with the sense of the economy of people wanting to move to the South and take advantage of the pricing. Because South Carolina, in very many ways, is like the state of Georgia, where they overbuild homes and give you cheaper prices. So it's a much bigger play at hand, but also I wonder if this comes with change behavior from the people that live by that flag. Shout out to fam. We don't have no Black Wall Street. We have Chinatown everywhere, a little Italy everywhere. Right, so yeah, so you say it right. They have Latino everywhere you go. That well, so like even in the Bronx, right? In the Bronx, they have like little Puerto Rico and different places. And the only reason why I'm calling little Puerto Rico is because it's just saying that's is designated for Latinos, right? But Latinos come from all different Spanish countries, but they also say that Spanish and Latinos is not necessarily the same thing. And I had to do my own research regarding that. And I was like, what? And so yeah, but y'all get the point that I'm making. We want to take this somewhere else, not right now. But the point that I'm making is that for people who are Latin descent, they have a place where they can go and it's still inclusive. If you go to the Bronx on 149th and 3rd, there's a place where it's nothing but Spanish restaurants. And them restaurants is always packed because that food is delicious. Trust me, I know. Food is delicious. They don't be like, yeah, you can't come in here because you're this or you're that. No, come in here, yo, taste what we got going on because you're embarking in on the culture. So we as one of the major cultures, we don't have our own, and we're the only ones that don't benefit from having our own while being inclusive. So I just hope that removal of the flag comes with changed behavior as well. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. At what age do you learn how to love? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. That's a question. At what age do we learn how to love? And the reason why I asked that question, because legendary actor Clifford Powell, who's better known for playing characters like Pinky from Friday, he's played, oh my God, he played on Rock. I can't think of his name right now on Rock. He was excellent on Rock. Clifton Powell has been in so many movies and shows. It's ridiculous. His IMDb, his credits is crazy. But, I believe he's 69 years old, if I'm not mistaken. But he recently came out and basically saying he just learned how to love. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. At what age do we learn how to love? I will say this. He wasn't saying it in the aspect where he just learned how to love and just in the thought of loving somebody, right? But his feeling on what he need to, well, basically what I took from it, basically the love that grows legs, pretty much is the essence of what he was saying. Meaning that the love that he has for somebody that grows inside of him, that makes him a better person to love them, and the love that he gives them makes him a better person to give love and to receive love. And at 69 years old, he felt like he just learned that. And the reason why I had to put it into that context, because at his age, he's old enough to be my father. I'm 41 years old, and I feel like I know what love is and what it takes to love somebody, right? But that doesn't mean my definition won't change in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. What undying and unbridled love looks and feels like. Because me personally, I love people so much, if they play with me, I have to get away from them. That's how much I love people. Like, I got to get away from you because I love you. And I might end up just suplexing you. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm talking about, regarding friendships, relationships. You don't want to be in a relationship where you putting hands on somebody, but you know your triggers. And you know you have to get away from somebody so that way they could get the better version of you, opposed to leaning on that trigger and letting your trigger allow you to take you to a place you don't want to go. And that's just human nature. We all have those triggers. Now, he got some backlash being 69 years old and people feeling like he's just learning how to love. But again, life is in different levels and different stages of life. So what we think is love at one aspect may not be what we think is love at the next aspect. Now, for me, what love looks like to me as of right now, love, a form of love is definitely loyalty, is definitely having the spirit and seeing the best in me while keeping me accountable. That's a major version of love. Don't try to keep me accountable for something that's feeling based on how you feel. That's not accountability. If it's not based in logic, then you can't keep somebody accountable because it's based in feeling. But when you base it in logic, then yes, you could definitely keep somebody accountable. So that to me is a version of love. Loving somebody enough to be a part of their life and not to be a part of their life, in my eyes, is love. You ever love somebody that you have to love them from afar? You ever want the best for somebody where you want it more than them, but you have to separate yourself because they don't understand the lesson and the intention that's happening? Because you can intend to love somebody this way, but what lesson did they receive from the intention? So when he say he's learning how to love, that's how I'm taking it. He's learning how to match his attention and the lesson that they receive from his love. Whether that love, it grows inside of him that makes him a better individual for them, and vice versa. Love is not just a feeling that is like, yeah, I love you. I don't know why I love you. I just love you. Love also takes some sort of logical thinking. I could tell you why I love you. There's not one person that I love, whether romantically or a friend, and I can't tell you the reason why. Because it's based in logic, not just a feeling. So at the end of the day, when he says, damn, at 69, I just learned how to love. And mind you, all of our experiences is not going to be the same. There's some people that's going to go through more things a little earlier opposed to other people in different things. And what I mean by that is this. You can have a younger person that go through more traumatic situations in their younger years. So now when they get older, they know how to deal with traumatic situations. But that same person don't know how to deal with money because when they was going through the traumatic stuff and learning how to do the traumatic stuff, they didn't learn how to pay bills and learn how to do money, but they learned it as an adult. We don't learn everything when we're young or when we're coming up. Everything has a process. So at the end of the day, I can understand what he's talking about because different stages have different places in our life. So, that's why I take from him saying that, me personally, learning how to love, it could take a lifetime. I love that, bro. I love that. Lifetime for some people, each person is different. I love that. I love that. Like we keep thinking that this experience, this thing that we go through called life, is all the same experience. It's not. We all don't leave at the same time. We all have a different destination. We all have a different space or where we have time to basically impact our world. We got the same 24 hours, but we don't have the same 24 hours. So again, I'm not mad at him for saying that he just learned how to love in this aspect where it grows legs instead of just saying, hey, I love you. And sometimes loving somebody is loving them up close or loving them from the distance or distance. But love is love. And you can explain your love because it's logical, not just feeling based. So I love the fact that he even had the courage to say that. Shout out to Clifton Powell for that. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12. We giving a little cheek kids to 13 right now. So again, hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them hearts in the chat. It helps with the growth of the show. We have over 600 rewatchable videos for the Kenner Brothers Get a Rap podcast playlist, and I've been seeing that audience grow more and more because I've been seeing y'all comments. So continue to hit those comments, and I appreciate that majorly. Shout out to my dog Biggs in the building, one of our day ones in the building. Appreciate you for tapping in. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Ex-girlfriend of NFL player Rashid Rice is suing him for $1 million. She's alleging, based on her suit, that he repeatedly assaulted her in the 18-month span that they was together. So that's why she's suing for the $1 million. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, ex-girlfriend of NFL receiver Rashid Rice is suing him for $1 million, and she's alleging that she was repeatedly assaulted in the 18-month span that they was together, and that's the basis of her suit. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, y'all don't forget to hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. This segment right here is time to get a rap. All right, y'all. So for me, regarding this, this is unfortunate if this is true. Again, this is an alleged event, meaning that she has no proof. It's he said versus she said. She says one thing, he didn't say anything yet, but him not saying anything is not an admission of guilt either. He's just not going to say anything based on her lack of proof. Now, her filing suit is her prerogative. It's her prerogative, but it's hard to prove these things when you don't have proof. If you're in a relationship with somebody for a long period of time, whether it's a year, 18 months, 24 months, which is 2 years, and after you break up and some time has gone by, it's hard to prove any wrongdoing in relationship, especially when it comes to assaulting. So if he did this, I hope that she's able to prove it. If he hasn't done it, I hope that this goes away. He could go about his life and she could go about hers and get the actual work that she needs to be done, because we spoke about it before, that people bring up charges based on feeling and not logic, not having a case, not having a proof. It's all in their feelings. I feel this way, so you have to feel the way I feel. I have to bring you misery because misery, what, y'all? Loves company. But what do I say all the time for the fellas who get caught up in situations like this? Keep cool. Keep it cool. No matter what happens. I had to learn this later on in life, that as a man, you control the outcome of what happens between man and woman. Regardless if she starts it or not, you could finish it. Now, as a man, if you're going through a toxic situation, you have to wrestle with the fact whether you're going to save yourself or you're going to save your stuff. Let me say that again. You have to wrestle with the fact whether you're going to save yourself or save your stuff. Sometimes when people go crazy, especially when you're dealing with the person that you're in a relationship with, when they make illogical decisions and do things feeling based, let them. And record their stupid ass. Let them. Oh, this what you, okay, cool. Record them. But now that you have the proof to do things legally for them to replace whatever that they damaged or whatever that they cause any type of pain and suffering. That's pain and suffering. Record their stupid ass. Let them go crazy. Because you have to save yourself. When people show you that they're crazy, you gotta believe it, and you have to get away from them. You cannot adopt the mentality if they're going crazy, and because I'm not going crazy, they thinking that I don't love them. They're thinking that I don't have the same type of capacity to love and to show that I care. That's not showing that you care for them. Because now when things and if things go terribly left, you don't have a leg to stand on. Now you look worse than they do. So again, when people make illogical decisions, they move off emotions, tape their stupid ass. Tape them. Because obviously they doing it out of feeling. They want you to hurt like how they're hurting. Nobody that ever truly loves you wants you to hurt. Period. Especially on purpose. Now, it's one thing to hurt somebody and like you did it is like that, that wasn't on purpose. And what do that mean? What do that look like, Ash? You could say something to your significant other and it may hurt their feelings. And based on what you said, wasn't designed to hurt them. What did I say before? The intention and the lesson. What you said wasn't designed to hurt them, but they was hurt about it. All you can do is apologize and show different behavior. That's it. And the way they accept it is by accepting your changed behavior and your apology. If they continue to throw it in your face, if they continue to throw things that are not accurate and they moving based on feeling, believe them. Tape their stupid ass and get away from them. This person do not love you because nobody hurt you on purpose. You ever had so much love for somebody, even when they hurt you unpurposely, you don't have it in you to hurt them back purposely. See how that goes together? So at the end of the day, get away. That's God saying, get away. You're not going to win that. Even if you feel like you can win, you're not going to win. Save yourself. At the very best, tape their stupid ass and get away from them. Why spend another day with somebody and y'all don't know how to love each other? See how that go? Y'all don't know how to love each other when you could have spent an extra day finding somebody that could love you the right way. We got to start looking at the bigger picture when we talk about this love thing. Shout out to my dog Biggs. He said facts in the building. Facts. Facts. So again, we need to make better decisions. And again, Ray Rice, like I said, if this is true, this is definitely unfortunate. And man, like this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. And if this is not true, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. Either way, all men have to learn how to deal with women in emotional situations. All men. Because even the men that just take it and just let that happen, that's a form of delusion too. A man has to be really deluged to let somebody weaker than him take advantage of him. That's a weak mindset. There's no other species that allows a weaker nature overpowers them. Regardless of who your partner is. Whoever's the weaker vessel, you can't start no fights. You're the weaker vessel. But it doesn't make it right for the stronger vessel to OD, for sure. For sure. But at the same time, when you're the stronger vessel, save yourself. Learn how to deal with high pressure situations dealing with emotions. Because what do I say all the time? Keep cool. Because it takes a lifetime to build your reputation. It takes a moment to lose it. Not to switch subjects, but we talked about it a little earlier today with Michael Jordan. Where the optics looked like he was pinching the young man's backside. That it just looked crazy. It looked crazy. But again, that young man's father spoke about it and was like, yo, that's not what happened at all. So again, we give the benefit of the doubt because Michael Jordan, all through his career, have never exhibited that type of behavior. See how that goes? It takes a lifetime to build a reputation, but just a moment to lose it, which is crazy. It's not crazy, but it's crazy. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. A rest in peace. We lost two legends recently. Robert Duvall, who's a great actor. You've seen him in a whole bunch of great movies. Most notably, in my opinion, as far as when I think of his name and think of the movies, he played the leading officer in John Q, opposite of Denzel Washington, or the main negotiator, I should say. But he's played in a lot of movies, and people remember him from other movies as well. So he's a great actor, or was a great actor. And the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson, for a long time, have been out here fighting for equality for the cultured community. Reverend Jesse Jackson have always, from the time that I can even remember the first thought of him, always showed what positive cultured men look like. Now, some of the things that happen later on, it happened later on, and it may have had him fall out of favor a little bit amongst the culture community. But again, what did I just say? It takes a lifetime to build a reputation, and his reputation, he has done greatness and good for our community. So I will always hold him in great standing. His memory should be immortalized and should have the respect that it garnered based on his work within the community, bringing the culture together and trying to have us do better and wanting us to do better. So rest in peace to Reverend Jesse Jackson, and my condolences to both his family and the Duvall family. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment. My Keep the Lie Live for this episode 239. Damn, it's a lot of episodes, 239. Fame comes at a cost. Fame comes at a cost. Fame comes at a cost. And I've said this before. I have the secret to being famous. I also mentioned this before. Fame is a skill. Getting fame is a skill by itself. Being skillful is not the same thing as being famous. What do that mean? So you can be skillful in something. Doesn't mean you're going to be famous for being skillful in that. What do that mean? Doesn't mean you're going to be famous for being a very good businessman, a very good politician, a very good athlete, a very good entertainer, a very good artist. You're not going to be famous just for that. To be famous as that, being famous takes a skill. And this comes from, I've never heard of this person until yesterday. A streamer, I believe his name is Dean the Great. He's gone super viral. He was at a party, and he's gone viral with, oh my God, I can't think of the man's name, but he's a fighter and actor. He was in the movie, they remade, oh my God, they remade, oh my God, Rampage. That's his name, Rampage. Rampage. He was on stream. He was streaming live with Rampage, and it was at a party, and he had made some comments to a woman who happened to be married, and she let it known that she was married. Her husband was standing there, and the young man was being quite disrespectful, and the husband slapped the taste out of his mouth. It didn't stop there. Didn't stop there. Not too longer later, he has a very different conversation with an older man. The conversation, men that don't know each other don't speak to each other like that. Men that know each other and have respect for each other don't speak to each other like that. So their conversation wasn't friendly, and it ended up with that gentleman also giving him what it looked like to be a fist to elbow situation, and it caused Dean the Great to be very agitated. He reacted. He tried to rush him and get some punches off, and he was later pulled back, and he was ready to have people come to the party and basically do some hood shit. There's a cost to this thing called fame. And when I said I had the secret of being famous, if you take a bowl of shit, hot bowl of shit, and eat it, you'll be famous in 24 hours. This was this young man's hot bowl of shit. I didn't know his name prior to. And just because I don't know him doesn't mean the whole world don't know him. So I don't want to say it in that vein because I don't know everybody. Everybody don't know me. So I hate when people say that because I don't know you, you're not famous. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that the world recognized him at one time within a 24-hour period. When the world recognized you at one time in a 24-hour period, then you're famous. Because now the world recognizes you, and not just one set of people. Not just TikTok famous, not just Instagram famous, not just YouTube famous, not just music famous, not just sports famous. Famous. Fame comes at a price. And this was this young man's bowl of shit. So at the end of the day, people that want to be famous, are you willing to pay the price? Because very few people that are famous because of their talent. And what I love about, I'll say, the back in the days is that people that had uber talent, there was entities behind the uber talent to make sure that the world knew who they was. They're uberly talented. So, hey, you should know who James Brown is because he's uberly talented. You should know who Whitney Houston is because her voice is, one in a million. You should know who this artist is because they make great music. Y'all get where I'm going with this, right? So now we're in a space and place where people can be famous on Instagram or YouTube or on this or on that, right? But there's a price to it. Are you willing to pay the price? Especially when it's not aligned to your talent. Because fame is a skill all by itself. Are you willing to pay the price? I remember when I first started off in music and people would say, hey man, when you get big, don't forget me. And it's like, hey bro, there's certain things I'm never going to pay the price for. And fame is one of them. So if the world knows me or not, guess what? I don't give a fuck. Because I'm about my skill. I'm about my talent. And if my skill and my talent don't let the world know, then I'm cool. I'm cool. Because my morality and my logic is intact. There's nothing that nobody can say to me personally to let me know if I'm legit or not. Is you crazy? Are you from my neighborhood? Are you from my area? Man, listen, to be coming from there, bruh, can't tell me nothing. Nothing. So when people say that about other people saying that, I've never heard of this person, it's kind of asinine because when you speak on it or say something, now you've heard of them. And there's a price to it. And again, are you willing to pay the price for fame? That's my Keep the Lie Live for this episode. I appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in each and every Wednesday, each and every Sunday at 10:30. Y'all been absolutely amazing. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12. Again, we giving that cheek kiss to 13,000 subscribers. So continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week. Just ask my badge holders. I pop up throughout the week. So make sure y'all tune and tap in. Tap into the Cannon Brothers Get a Rap podcast playlist. Over 600 rewatchable videos, great for conversational starters. We talk about everything here. So I want to thank y'all for supporting the show. I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get to find us some movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. I also want to thank OUV Records. Be on the lookout for the new OUV Records app, still in development. It's super duper fire so far. It's going to be a better listen and a better visual experience for all listeners. You're getting music directly, exclusively from the OUV Records artists, and the music is absolute fire. The music has been backed up. We got hits on backed up because of the app. So we no longer going to go through Apple or Spotify because they don't treat us as artists well on our music, and they try to snatch our ownership. So again, be on the lookout for that new OUV Records app. What else we got going on? Next episode, 240. Wow, that's a lot of episodes. For our 240 episode, we're going to do some giveaways. So make sure y'all tune and tap in for that as well. Be on the lookout. Be ready. And we're going to do them at random. So always stay engaged in the chat, because I'm probably going to show some love to the people that stay engaged the most in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Biggs. Shout out to Fam. Shout out to Ebony. Shout out to Paul. I'm not going to shout everybody out, but shout out to y'all. Y'all showing major love in the chat, man. Major love. Appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in. And again, if you haven't got your badge yet, make sure you tune in. Links is in the bio. Shout out to Cece, my dog Cece, man. My dog Cece, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in, man. Again, y'all, do not forget, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not try to stand out by being negative. That's what I call stains. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Y'all hear my stomach grumbling. That means I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I probably won't eat, but I'm hungry. But lose that Willie Lynch mindset. The only op we have over here, or the only op we recognize over here, is opportunity. Hate has a location. It's just not here. Y'all already know, man. It's love. I'm going to see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. We out.